Today we are driving the 2023 Honda Odyssey Elite, one of the most well-known minivans on the road. But as always, let me give you a brief tour of the car before we get it out on the road. This Elite model that we are testing today is the top trim, and when it was brand new, this cost around $52,000. The key fob is pretty standard and you have a few extra buttons to open your power sliding doors. Let's take a look at the styling. This pre-refreshed Odyssey has a blacked out grille with functional ventilation at the bottom. The turn signals and the fog lights are going to be at the bottom, while your headlights and daytime running lights are going to be at the top. There's a chrome strip that will run above the grille and the headlights. And here is the incandescent turn signal in action. Moving on to the sides, you will find a little reflector and marker lights, and you will find these contrast 19-inch alloy wheels. Moving up to the mirrors, this Odyssey Elite will come with heating, blind spot monitoring, and power folding door mirrors. You also get a mirror turn signal and some piano black. The door handles are going to be in chrome, and taking a look at the side profile, this looks very much like a minivan. You have the power sliding doors with the door handles pretty close together to signify that. And here are the doors in action. You're just going to pull the door handle, that is going to open up the door. To close it up, you can do the same thing, or you can push the button on the inside. I really like how it slows down at the very end in case somebody has their fingers there so they can move out of the way. Part of the 3/4 window goes right into the back window for a seamless design, and at the back there isn't a ton to talk about. The taillights are going to be mostly incandescent, which is a little disappointing to see in 2025, and you will have this piano black and chrome piece that will run in between the taillights. But now let's see about the cargo area. Thankfully the load-in height is going to be pretty low, which is going to be great for loading in heavy luggage. Behind the third row, you will find 32.8 cubic feet of space, which is decent, and you will have 3 cubbies total. You also have a 12-volt power outlet, and there used to be a vacuum offered in the Odyssey, but they took that away in 2022. You can easily fold down the seats, and there are many hooks on the back of it. I cannot fold the seats down right now because there are floor mats, but just know that it is very easy and there are instructions on the back of the seats. But now let's move on to the back seats because that is very important for a minivan. Power sliding doors are going to be standard on every Odyssey, which is a very kid-friendly feature. Every Odyssey comes with 8 seats, even the Elite model, which is quite nice. The captain's chairs can slide side to side to give one side easier access to the third row if you remove the middle seats. Getting in is quite easy because the Odyssey doesn't have very high ground clearance. And in the back of the Odyssey, I have plenty of legroom along with 2 seatback pockets on either side. In the middle, you will find cup holders as well as 2 USB ports and an HDMI outlet. If nobody's sitting in the middle seat, you can fold it down for 3 cup holders as well as some storage. You can also use it as an armrest because the armrests that they provide on the side of the seats are much too skinny. There's also an Amazon Fire TV entertainment system and vents on the B-pillar. But now let's go ahead and check out the third row. Third row access is quite simple. You're just going to pull the lever and the seat will slide forward. In the back, I don't love these headrests because they're pretty hard to get up, but I do have a seatback pocket, which is pretty much unheard of in the auto industry. There are also sunshades as well as vents, cup holders, a plastic armrest, a 12-volt power outlet on the right side as well as a headphone jack, and also legroom and headroom is solid. On the left side, there is going to be 1 single USB port. Now for second row passengers, folding down the middle seat is going to be a much better armrest because take a look at how tiny that thing is. To get out of the third row, you're just going to pull on the little tab, and you have pretty easy access out of there. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the front and see what the parents are going to enjoy. The door panel has a pretty simple design, but it is very practical. On the upper part, you're going to find some leatherette trim as well as gloss black plastic and memory seat settings. Your buttons are going to be in matte plastic so they don't get fingerprints. But take a look at how much storage you have on the door pocket. That is absolutely insane. These seats are going to be made of real leather and you get great contrast stitching and piping. They will also be heated and ventilated. But now let's go ahead and start it up and see what the rest of the cabin is like. The steering wheel is very nicely leather wrapped and heated. It is going to be manual adjusting and you actually have paddle shifters, and they actually work pretty well. That is surprising because keep in mind this is a minivan. The gauge cluster has this 8-inch display that has some customization but not a lot. In the middle, you will find various controls along with your heated and ventilated seats. Those are standard on the Touring and Elite models. The climate controls are going to be mostly physical, but to turn on the AC, you will have to go into the infotainment system. Down below, there is a ton of storage with this open area, as well as a USB port, a household-style outlet, as well as a DC outlet. There's also a good amount of storage in the center console, as well as a wireless phone charging pad. The gear shifter is going to be push button and is pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, even with the Elite model, there is no 360 camera, but there are a lot of nice angles. There is also active trajectory. Down here, you will also find a CD player. And for the main infotainment system, it's not going to be Honda's latest system with Google built in, but it is still pretty good. You get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. There's also this feature called Cabin Watch, so there's a camera in the back to spy on your kids. You can also access Cabin Talk, which will amplify your voice through the speakers or the headphones. Up top, you'll find a dedicated sunglasses holder as well as a standard sunroof. But now let's go ahead and see what this minivan is like to drive out on the road. Alright, we are driving the 2023 Honda Odyssey Elite. Now the Odyssey needs to have a good driving experience because most likely there are going to be a lot of people in this car, and this car is probably going to be going on a lot of long road trips. First impressions over this bumpy road, the ride quality is not bad, but we will jump into that a little bit later. We are going to be starting this review off with an acceleration test, so let's go ahead and skip right to it. That V6 really sounds good. The Odyssey is officially the quickest minivan in the segment with a 0 to 60 time of 6.5 seconds. But now let's go ahead and dive into the powertrain. The Odyssey is powered by a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6, tried and true by Honda. This puts out 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. All of that is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and the fuel economy is not terrible at 19 miles per gallon in the city, 28 on the highway, and 21 combined. This car also has paddle shifters, I mentioned that earlier, and although I'm not going to be showing you what those are like in this video, I can confirm from other reviews that they are very responsive and are quite nice to use. That is not something I thought I would say about a minivan, but it is true. This is definitely the most sporty minivan you can buy. But now let's go ahead and dive into the ride quality. Around town, the ride quality is not terrible. You do feel some of the bumps on these 19-inch alloy wheels, and there is no fancy suspension like an air suspension or adaptive dampers, you just get a normal one. But it is not bad. That is important because this car is probably going to be going on long road trips, and I think this is a pretty good cruiser. We'll test out that theory once we get on the highway. This car is also pretty relaxing to drive around town. The 10-speed automatic transmission is really smooth, and the throttle response isn't too perky. The brakes also have some nice bites, but they're not going to be overly grabby. And overall, the driving experience around town is pretty good. For $52,000 brand new, I would definitely take this. Two things I didn't mention when I was talking about the powertrain is that the Odyssey is only front-wheel drive and there is no hybrid option available. In fact, the V6 is the only option you get for powertrains. This V6 is a very good powertrain though, but if you were looking to get something like 35 miles per gallon around town, you cannot do that in the Odyssey. This is noteworthy because the Sienna and Pacifica are both offered an all-wheel drive, and all the competitors to this car, Pacifica, Carnival, and Sienna, are all offered with a hybrid powertrain. In fact, the Sienna is actually standard as a hybrid. It gets 36 miles per gallon in the city if you opt for front-wheel drive, which is almost double the Odyssey. And the Pacifica actually comes with a plug-in hybrid powertrain, so you can choose between gas or electric whenever you want. I hope that Honda in the coming years will add all-wheel drive and a hybrid powertrain, or at least one of those two, to the Odyssey. But now let's go ahead and talk about the driving experience on the highway. I'll let you listen to the wind noise for a second and I'll give you my thoughts. Keeping my expectations reasonable because of the price point of this car, I am pretty impressed at how quiet the Odyssey's cabin is. I will say that our 2023 Toyota Sienna Platinum is slightly quieter, but the ride quality in this Odyssey is about the same, and the wind noise isn't so loud that it would be disturbing if you were trying to take a nap while taking a road trip. You can feel some of the bumps, especially on bumpier road surfaces, but they're not so bad that it would be uncomfortable or disturbing if you're trying to take a nap, so this Odyssey would definitely be a comfortable family cruiser. To reduce driving fatigue just a little bit, there are some basic driver's assistance features. There is lane keep assist as well as adaptive cruise control. The lane keeping assist isn't a lane centering assist, and there is also no steering assist, but it will kind of ping pong you in between the lane markings. Now, this isn't really anything special, it's just the most basic driver's assistance features that you get, but at least it is standard on every Odyssey, where it's something like a Porsche Panamera that's $200,000, you will actually have to pay extra for adaptive cruise control. So now we are off the highway, and we're going to see once again what the Odyssey is like to drive around town. One nice thing about a minivan for some people that may not be as comfortable driving a large SUV like a Chevrolet Suburban, it is not terribly difficult to drive around town, and also you aren't scared that you're going to scratch anything. Also, the Odyssey is going to handle pretty well. We're taking this curve pretty fast, and the Odyssey feels very sure-footed. Not every minivan is like this, but the Odyssey is definitely on the sportier side. There is also a sport transmission setting. If you click the D again, that will go into sport transmission mode, so the shifts from the 10-speed automatic transmission are going to be a little bit more quick and responsive, and also it's going to keep you in a lower gear for more power. The 10-speed is very smooth, and it is also very quick to downshift if you put your foot to the floor. Off the line, the Odyssey is also pretty quick. Let me give you a quick demonstration right here. The engine in the Odyssey woke up right away and gave me the power that I needed. That is pretty impressive for a minivan. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the full-size SUVs. They can be hard to drive around, especially in tight parking lots, and not everybody is going to be good at driving a humongous SUV. That is why you might want to go the minivan route. This Odyssey is 205 inches long compared to a Suburban, which is 225 inches long. Yes, the Suburban has a little bit more space in the trunk, but the Odyssey also has a ton of space, and it would be more than enough for anyone. But that is going to wrap up today's driving review of this 2023 Honda Odyssey Elite. The Odyssey is an amazing cruiser and would be great for family road trips. But let me know your thoughts of the Odyssey down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.